All right, the next candidate we have to introduce is another one from California. Let me introduce Laura Wells.
My name is Laura Wells, and I'm running for Congress District 13, which is Berkeley, Oakland, and the surrounding cities. And we're running against Democrat incumbent Barbara Lee. So people ask, why are you running against Barbara Lee, who is arguably the most progressive congressperson in the entire country? And the reason is that there's no excuse for a huge laundry list of things that we don't have in this country that other countries have been taking for granted for decades. Things like single payer, things like free higher education, and a criminal justice system that works. What our message will be to these people who are asking why run is that we want a debate. We want to have a green. In California, there's the top two primary, and so there are two of us on the ballot. There's no Republican. There's a Democrat and a Green. To some people, the worst case would actually be the best case. We would have a Green in Congress, so that if everybody voted Green, what would happen? Oh my God, what if everybody did that? There'd be a Green in Congress, and suddenly there'd be somebody at the table who would not keep things off the table like single payer. So we are going for a debate, and one of the things that I'm going to stress to people is that our vote is a power. And if we want to use that as a power, we need to think in terms of pressure. What vote would apply pressure to Washington? Where Washington needs to reach across the aisle is not between itself, among the elites that are sitting there in Washington. It's between Washington and the rest of the country, and that's Green. So we're going to do everything we can to demand a debate. People want debates. Even people who love Barbara Lee want debates in this country. And so the final thing is that if you love Barbara Lee, just say, I love you, Barbara Lee, and I'm voting for Laura Wells of the Green Party because I want to put pressure on Congress, and I want you to be able to go back to Washington and say, look, I've got to really push for these things faster and harder than I have in the past. Look who's at my heels. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Laura. Next up, we have got Adam Davis, who is from host state of Utah, running for the 1st Congressional District.
Good morning. So as Brendan said, I'm Adam Davis, running in the 1st Congressional District here in Utah. I'm running primarily because I have watched the two-party system consistently leave workers behind in this country. The people who are out there working for a living, who are not, as I like to say, professional money havers, are consistently not being represented, not by Democrats, not by Republicans, and certainly not by any member of our current Congress. What I want is a workers' bill of rights. I want to guarantee every single person in this country a job at a living wage and at a housing wage where they can afford to live in the community where they work. I want single-payer health care in this workers' bill of rights. I want to guarantee people paid vacation, paid sick leave, paid parental leave. I want incentives for worker co-ops to democratize the workplace so that workers aren't working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to enrich somebody who's playing the stock market. I want that money to go back to the workers that are making that company run. And that's why I think worker co-ops are the future, worker co-ops are part of the future of work. And we need to start incentivizing them so that we can start empowering the people that actually make this country run. I'm running Green specifically, like I said, because the Democrats and the Republicans aren't going to do any of this. They've been fighting against all this stuff, and they've been driving declining and stagnating wages, as well as raising prices and decreased ability to pay for the things that people need to live for decades now. And so I'm running green to make a better way forward for everybody. Thank you.
I think we should restart. Stop. We're not getting audio,
Oh.
so we're gonna just run it up again and